Hello, friends. How's it going? We're going to wait just in case a few more people come in. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Woody. Thanks for coming in. I'm going to be doing something different this week. As you can see, I'm sitting down. Yesterday, I had a medical procedure and I'm still a little tired, but I wanted to make sure I did this show and I showed up. And at the end, I would love for people to come up. I have a whole thing laid out. I'm super excited. This is my fourth show, and yeah, I'm really excited. It's simulcasting on YouTube and on Twitch, and I'm just so looking forward to it. So, I'm just gonna like kind of make sure all my things are together. I'll get started in a couple minutes. I want to make sure my lighting is good. Look, I can see my ring light back there. But it's so much comfortable sitting down. I will say that starting on Friday, I'll be adding a new show. It's going to just be an extension of this show. It's going to be called Reworking This, and it's going to be marketed, make it, market, and sell it. I'm still working on the name, and it's probably going to be Friday at 7 p.m. And what I'm going to do is start showing you that's the only way I can show you. I can give you suggestions once I make my items, once I rework everything, upcycle, create a sustainable fashion brand, how I market it on social media through videos, how I'm selling my items. I'm doing a couple pop ups like these earrings I'm going to show you today. I'm preparing a lot of earrings for a pop up I'm going to be doing on June 25th here in my local community. So, that second show, I wanted it to be similar to what I'm already doing in my other creative space over on Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. And so I thought that it would be great to add this second element by adding another show. And it's going to be more podcast style. I'm able to sit down. I'll have on my headphones. I'll have the mic, and I'm going to be so excited about that. I actually should have a mic today since I'm sitting down, but I'm ill prepared. So what I'm going to do is show you what I'm doing here today. I'm going to be making some Betty and Veronica earrings. Any Archie fans, I'm going to be using vintage comic book to make some earrings. This is like true recycle, upcycle things that you can do. I could possibly sell these comics. I have so many. And I just decided, you know what? Let me use them creatively in a different way. I may not make as much as if I tried to sell the comic as is. I've looked up the prices. I could probably get away with selling the comics as is, but I wanted to do something creative and bring a brand new life to these items, to the comic book itself. And so I just kind of played around with what I could do with the comics. I've also, in the next coming weeks, I'll probably mix it up and show some other things. I have some musical notes. I have some camouflage ones. I have some rainbow ones. It's Pride Month. I'll probably work on those and sell a bunch of those. So I just wanted to give people an idea of some things they could do, especially if they did have comic books, they had old newspaper, they had old magazines. There are so many possibilities. And I have tons of comics. So over the next couple of weeks, I'll be making more. I want to have about 100 pairs of earrings available for my pop up, in addition to all of my upcycled and reworked clothing. And so I'm going to go through. I have DC Comics, I have Marvel Comics, I have Wonder Woman for like the females. I'm just still going to mix it up. I mean, Iron Man. Some men were Iron Man. So Iron Man, Captain America. All the Marvel comics, Black Panther, and some other comics I don't even know about. I have Richie Rich comics. So many comics that I have that I'm going to use, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to get started. People who come in later, they can see this in the evergreen form. It's going to save as a video. People are probably watching from YouTube, so I want to say hello to my YouTube family. I just added a new platform, Twitch, which I'm trying to get into a little bit more. It's more of a gaming platform similar to YouTube, but I started a channel a year ago, and this Fireside offers me the opportunity to simulcast, so why not add it? And in the next couple of weeks, once I figure it out, I'll be adding Facebook as well. So hello, YouTube, A Reseller's Passion, all my friends at A Reseller's Passion. My name is Leslie Tucker, and this is Reworking It. And we're going to jump right in. So I have this this is Archie Girls Betty and Veronica comic book right here. I'm also filming. I guess I better. I'm also filming on my phone. I try to fill all my content so I can use it later on. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to start the video rolling. So there's Betty. And so here's the comic book. And this was like 35 cents. I'm trying to see the year. I don't know where the year is. It's really old. I will say that. This is an old comic book. And so I have a bunch of these. So for anyone you know, direct them onto Fireside, onto this channel. You can find a lot of information probably on Pinterest. I came up with this idea. I didn't look at anyone else's idea. And so I had the comic book. And then I wanted to make some earrings across the board. I like to draw and paint and color and do all that stuff. So I went onto Amazon looking for some earrings that I could possibly use for several different projects. And I came across these wood circles. There's a hole at the top. And I also have some smaller ones. I left them in my office. But this is just a wood circle. And I have several. So they come in a bag like this. Right? And I think it was like 600 pieces. I've done several different earrings. And as I indicated, the next couple of weeks, I'll probably show you a few different styles. But this is what I'm going to be using today. You can also use paper. You can use fabric. You probably want to use something stiffener. I'll show you some in a minute. But you don't just have to use like a wood background. You can double up on the comics to make it thicker, especially if they're for yourself. But if you're selling, you want to make sure that you're selling a quality item. And if you get something like this will last. This was made specifically to be an earring, okay? So because I have a business, I invested a little bit of money to get these wood items right here. And they also come with the earring holder things, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. So here's the comic. And then if you want to make some earrings, you just kind of go through and find the pictures that you want that will fit within this round little circle. And the interesting thing is I created a tracer. This is my tracer. I have it written on both sides. So if it got lost in the bag or something, it wouldn't get mixed up. This is specifically a tracer for the items so that I can get almost the exact size that I need. And so what I do is I go through, this is Betty and Veronica. I'm focusing on them, but they do have some other characters in here. If anyone is familiar with Archie, Josie and the Pussycats. So later on, I'll be going and cutting out some other ones. There's also Archie, Jughead. And so I'll probably be making some earrings with them as well. There's Archie right there. And there's Jughead at the bottom. You've got Betty and Veronica. And I've done several. I have probably about 10 pairs so far. That's what gave me the idea. So later on, I'll probably go in and cut their faces off and use them, right? And so you just go through the comic and find the pictures that you want. So you can do like a combination of Betty and Veronica together. If you can find a small enough picture that you can cut, you can trace and cut out with this. Or you can just do some Betty earrings or just some Veronica earrings. So it's up to you. I have a couple pair where Betty's smiling on one side and she's frowning on the other side. And the same thing for Veronica, where they're making these weird faces. And that's just one earring. And then the other earring can be whatever you want it to be. And you can do a copy of the comic on one side and you can paint the other side. It's really up to you, or you can just leave it this wood color. So it's really up to you to decide. So I'm going to go in order. So once you find the picture that you want, I would suggest ripping out the whole page like this. Rip out the page and find the faces that you want. So I actually marked the faces that I want for this particular comic. And so here's one right there. And these two are together. I'm going to see if I can get two separate pictures from them. And this right here would be a whole face. Look at that. And then down the bottom, this is a great one right here. So just enough where the face, the circle covers. And so I did some here where I cut them out. I think it's easier to cut out. You see how they're in squares? I think it's easier to cut the squares out. It's going to be better to navigate because you're going to use scissors. So, why try to cut this big piece of paper? And I like these little scissors. This is why they wanted to make sure we could cut when we were young, right? Make sure that our children, I think it was kindergarten, I'm not really sure, that I know my children had to be able to cut. And they do have left-handed and right-handed scissors. This is a right-handed pair, but I like smaller ones because I can get closer. I have a bunch of bigger ones and I use them for other things. But as you can see, the smaller ones are going to be perfect to just cut this circle. Now, what I did was I took a black marker. I have this is a very skinny black marker. You can use pencil, you can use pen, and you'll find your picture. I wanted to show you that. Find the picture that you're interested in. And we talked about this earlier. Here's one. She's thinking really hard right there. And I think I'm going to cut that one out. So I'm going to just put the tracer on top. And this is another thing we learned. Some of the things in school, we didn't think we would need these things as adults. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But I found that it's awesome to have these skills. So there's that circle right there. And then, as I indicated, I'll cut the individual square out. So I'll just cut this out over here to make it easier for me to cut. And so here's an example. I cut out the square, and now I'm just going to take and cut around. Now this is a black marker, as you can see. You can see how dark this circle is. I actually don't want any black to show on this circle. I want to cut around and get rid of all the black. And again, these cutting skills are really necessary. And the cool thing is it doesn't have to be perfect. So there, look at that. How cool is that? It's perfect to me. That's all that matters. It's perfect to me, and it's trial and error. I'm happy. I have a little carpal tunnel. I'm happy to be able to cut and use my hands. So I'll just add this to my pile of circles. We only have a few, but I have a couple other circles here, and I want to cut out this other one here. Just kind of go around. And again, you want to make sure you get the black, but no more than the black, because you're going to need this circle to go inside the circle earrings. These wooden circles here. Okay, that's almost perfect. I have a little black, and I'll just snip that off. Okay. And so I have 4 circles here. So I have 4 wood circles, and so we're going to work on those today. Now, the medium that I'm going to be using, the company that I use is Plaid, and they make an item called Podge, and I'm not sure if people are familiar with that. So this is what I'm going to show you some other ones too, but this is what this Podge looks like. And it's a water-based glue, sealer, and finish. And basically, it's just a fancy type of white glue that we used to use in school. Remember all the projects we used to use in school? This is like literally the same type of project, but in a more expensive, fancier looking container, and it's advised not to inhale it, to, sniff it or do anything like that, similar. And this is, I'm going to use it. This is a matte base one. So Podge is the name of it. The company is Plaid. This is what I use the most. So I have several large bottles. You can get these in gallons. You can get these in a 2-ounce tube. This is 16 ounces. It comes in 8 ounces as well. So I have about 6 of these big giant ones. And then depending on what the project I'm doing, I use different kinds. This one right here is a super gloss sealant. I actually, my husband and I actually put together a dividing wall in my office. When I do the new show, I'll be filming from my office, so you'll be able to see the colorful dividing wall behind me. I painted that wall. Then I used this sealant. I poured it into a container with a big brush, and I just sealed the wall up so that the paint and everything doesn't chip off of it. But it's the same company. This is a super gloss, one coat gloss finish. Then there's also a dishwasher safe gloss. I decoupage a lot of shoes and things like that, and some people are interested in wearing them kind of like out in the rain or whatever. I don't know why, but this is dishwasher safe, so you can make plates and different things like that using that. These are similar, so you just have to kind of look and pay attention when you're in the store. Don't grab it because it's blue. This is a darker blue. This is a little bit lighter, and this is dishwasher safe gloss. And again, it's a water-based sealer. So you use it to glue, and you also use it as a sealer. And then this, I was earlier talking about stiffening. You can use it to stiffen fabric. So if you made some hearts or some characters, some shapes from fabric, you can use this particular mod. It's a fabric stiffener. So it's Mod Podge Stiffy is what it's called. Same company. So it says fabric stiffener, easy to use, water-based formula. And that's what this one is right here. Okay. And I do want to point out, after you've finished cutting out the squares and you have excess, save it. You might be able to use this for another project. I already have some projects in mind that I'm going to be using these leftovers for. That's the whole purpose of what I'm doing, trying to upcycle items. Now, like this right here, it might be scraps. You could use it for packing or something. I'm also a reseller. I talk about that all the time. I ship things, and I like to use newspaper and excess packaging to fill my boxes and things like that. I can get a collective of this and just kind of bunch it together or something. But just, use it safely, be eco-friendly if you can. Okay. So now I'm going to glue these circles I'm going to glue the comic circles onto the wood circles. So here's my wood circles. This is a white background. This is 50-cent poster board from the dollar store. The dollar store, 2 for $1. I use this on my workspace, in my office, on my working desk. You can see I have like paint and different things. It's so much easier than trying to, find something else. 50 cents, I can use this until I can't use it anymore. And then what will happen is I'll flip it over and I can use that again. And so this is just a 50-cent bottom. When of course, if you were here last week, when I dye, I actually showed, if you watched last week's show, I showed a shower curtain that I put across the whole table. So when I was dyeing items, and don't let me forget to show you the finished projects from last week. So this is the Mod Podge. This is the matte base right here. And I'll probably, I've done a couple, I'll show you the completed ones, but I think I'm going to use like a high gloss sealer for these to cover the top. And so I have like little cups. You can use a container or something you have that you don't mind wasting. My suggestion is, if you're going to use like a plastic container or something like that, just make sure you wash it out when you're finished. But I got these little cups. It's like 200 for like $1.50 or something like that. And I just take my Mod Podge and I just kind of pour it in. It's already some in here, so I don't want it to go to waste. Oops. Ooh. All right. And again, this is glue. So you want to make sure this is glue. So you want to make sure. I have to use this wipe. Okay. Oops. All right. Okay. Hey, Chris, what's going on, girl?
Hey, how are you?
I,
Nothing, just
I'm good. What's going on? So, can you hear me and everything really well?
I hear you very well. Yeah,
Good,
very
good,
good.
good. So yeah, you see me doing these comic circles. You've seen the work.
Yes.
You've seen this work in progress before, right?
Yes, 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 I have. And it's still, I mean, I still like to watch it though, because I'm just surprised at how you do it.
So I was showing before you came in. This is the Betty and Veronica comic.
Oh, okay.
You just go in, pick out a page, right? And so I just did step by step, pick the page, and I
Oh,
have these little wooden circles. I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm going to show you actually how I apply. And I actually
right.
designated one as a tracer. So specifically, because I use this marker, it's going to be beat up soon. And I just
Yes.
trace. I just find a picture and I trace it. And after I've traced it, I cut it out.
Wow.
And then I'm going to use this Mod Podge. And I indicated for people who are coming in late or who want to go like real quick through the video that you don't have to use these wood pieces. I actually found them. They literally were like, I think $11 for 600 pieces on Amazon. You can click the blue link in my bio and it'll take you to my Amazon account and you can see it. And I just wanted to get something where I can make like several kinds of earrings. And
Right.
these wood things will help, but you can use fabric. And I showed you some fabric stiffener. You can use paper. But for yourself, I think that works out well. But if you're going to sell something, you want to make something that's going to be that's going to hold up. You don't want someone to pay money for something that's going to fall apart. Even though you're going to use the Mod Podge, it's still going to be paper. You know, glue only holds
Mm-hmm.
up so well. So these circles, I'm going to use these circles depending on how big my project is. I use a small brush, or my favorite are these foam brushes. This is all dollar store items. So you can get a pack of like 8 of these for $1. You can go to the Dollar Tree. I know locally they're $1.25 now, the Dollar Trees, but you can also go to a Family Dollar or a Dollar General. I was just in Dollar General the other day and I got a bunch of rubber bands, and I just checked the craft section to come back as a reminder to see what they have. And they have so many dollar items. These right here, depending on where you get them from, at the Dollar Tree, they have them with this wood bottom in the craft section. But if you go to the automotive, what's it, where tools are, they have the same brushes with a plastic bottom. You get more in a pack. You get 8 in a pack for $1. The same top. So depends on what you want. If you want them to be cute, then get the cute ones on the craft section. But if you don't care about it being cute, get these. And then you can get 5 in a pack for 97 cents at Walmart. And you can go to Michael's. They across the board, these sponge brushes, you can get at least one pack for $1. Okay, be economical about your purchases. So for this smaller project, I'm going to use this little brush right here. I showed you I put my little Mod Podge in here. I use my little brush there. And then all I basically do is just paint this Mod Podge onto these wood circles.
Those are going to be super cute. I love the Betty and Veronica comics, and just I would never think to do um, Betty and well, comic books, period. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
but those are going to be those. I can see those definitely selling too, because a lot
yeah.
of people are into that whole comic, type of thing and stuff like that. So that's a good idea. That is
And it
definitely a
just
good
came
idea.
to me. It just came to me real quick. So you want to like this is really this is thick. So you want to make sure you do the back of the comic and the top of the earring so that it fuses well. The cool thing is you can move it around to make sure. And after I cut that black off, this literally fits on here
Nice.
perfectly. And then
That's
what
gonna be
I
nice.
learned is I have about 12 pair completed, but I wasn't smart in the beginning. So I'm going to put a little black dot in here because when I cover the back, I won't be able to see the whole top. So I'm just being smart now. So then what I do is I come back and you want to make sure you seal the top. And then
That
just go.
Mod Podge is some great stuff, I tell you.
That's some great stuff. And I was saying earlier, really all it is the fancy white glue that we used to use back in the day, but in a more expensive container does the same thing. So that's that first one. I'm gonna do another one real quick, and then I'll show you the finished product because what I'm doing today, these are actually going to be earrings that I'm using. So when I was thinking about like what could I talk about? And as I was saying earlier before you came in, Chris, I'm going to be doing a pop up on June 25th. It'll be my first one in North Carolina,
Nice.
and thankfully it's local. So I want to have a lot of jewelry. In the past, as a handmade seller, I used to have, of course, all the other items that I sold, but jewelry is what brings people to your table. I think jewelry is
Right.
kind of like universal, right?
Right.
So I think having jewelry available, people will like, and then something interesting like this. My husband today was just saying, well, you should do one of the Comic Cons or whatever. I'm like, yeah, Galaxy Con is coming to Raleigh, but I'm not ready for that because a table is $1,900. And I was like, yeah, I'm not ready for that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've vended for 12 years, and I have never paid more than 150, but I think it's up to people to decide, like, are you going to get your money back? It depends on what you sell. And I'm going to be taking everything. I just don't want to like spend that. So here is these are completed. These are the ones that I just did. They're very sticky. And then I'll come back and I'll do the back. And as I indicated, since these particular ones are wood circles, you can paint the back and have the comics on the front. I've chosen to have I've chosen to have the comic on both sides just to make it fun. And since it's Betty and Veronica, you can have Betty by herself, and Veronica by herself. You can have them together, and then vice versa. And I'm going to show you. So that is the wood circles. I showed you these. That you can get a bag of 600 of these on Amazon. Click the blue link in my bio, and it'll take you to my Amazon account, and you'll see the the wood circles. Now these are some completed ones. I finished these up. Okay, so this is what they look like. They're nice and shiny. The comics are on there. I'm filming on two different devices here. So, and then on the flip side, this is what they look like, right? And then you don't have to be a jewelry professional to put these earrings together because I know Chris is making bracelets and things. And before I go on to show you the end result, how long have you been making these bracelets, Chris?
In total now, it's been probably about 5 months. And so, I'm just, learning and perfecting as I go along. And it's been fun, but you're making these earrings got me
And let's
wanting to
go
make
for
some
let's
earrings.
go for it. So Chris and I are good friends. We know each other in person, and she's going to be coming on soon. So we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do. I think it was June 28th. I locked her in for. So don't run away, Michelle. You're next. And so I want to show you. In addition to these wooden circles, there are some smaller ones that came in this bag. I didn't bring them out because I'm not using them today. Maybe on another project. But in addition to the circles, all the hardware came with these earrings. And that was what attracted me to this particular pack. Not only just the wood, where I had now go out and buy the circles. It came with the jump rings here, and it came with the backings. So I'm like, I can't remember exactly. I know I didn't pay more than $15 for that whole pack. So 600 pieces. That is a steal. I've been making jewelry for years. And so what I did was, here's the completed earrings. I added the little jump rings on there. And I added these right here, the earring backs. And here are completed earrings.
Those are super nice. Those are
So
really cute.
missed the beginning, definitely come back and watch the playback or check out on YouTube. I'm a reseller's passion over there. But these, they came out so well. And I've been able to perfect them a little bit by playing around and figuring out, okay, can you guys still hear me?
I hear you. I hear you just fine.
Okay, well, it's coming up. I have a message that says poor network quality. Okay, great. Thank you, Jen. It was giving me a poor network quality. So those are the earrings. And again, you can literally use anything. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to kind of mix it up. I have some musical notes. I have camouflage. I've made some rainbow. I used the comics really spoke to me because I had the comics. I'm a reseller and I had this huge box of comics and some things I was about to sell and give away, but I decided to keep a bunch of them for myself. So I have some Wonder Woman, as I indicated, I have some Marvel characters. So I'm going to keep those, maybe give the other ones away or sell them and make some earrings. I'm doing a pop up on June 25th. I want to have about 100 pairs of earrings. I'm going to be doing rings in the next few weeks. So we'll see. So those are the earrings, right? If you have any questions, definitely send me a message or come up on the stage and ask any questions. You can come up now. This is my Q&A period. And now, so what I'm going to do is show you. Last week I dyed some sneakers and I did laundry bag. So you can go back to last week's show and I actually went step by step and I actually dyed the sneakers right there. And so I'm going to show you the finished project. So two pairs of sneakers. These are Keds. These are canvas. This is what they look like. How pretty are these?
Nice. Those
They came
came out nice.
Yeah, they came in a liquidation box. I get liquidation boxes because I am creating, some sustainable fashion, and the boxes are advertised as you need to do some work and things like that. So these are Sperry's. Sperry's sell very well for me. I left these leather laces in there because they have that little fancy twirl, and I wasn't dealing with that. So these are how the Sperry's look. And again, if you want to see, I actually did the whole process. I know I have my light there. Hopefully it's not shining too much there. And then I had some laundry bags. These particular bags were actually new. When I first started tie-dye, I went crazy. I was like, oh, I can dye it. I can dye this. So I was just buying stuff. And I didn't want them to go to waste. So I actually did those with bottles, the sneakers. But these bags right here, I actually did the whole dip process. So if you weren't here last week, you missed that. But you can go back and watch the show where I had 2 containers of dye, a denim blue, and a teal. And I have these great canvas laundry bags. And this is what they look like. So this is the top. Here's a drawstring. You can put this into your laundry basket if you're in a dorm or something like that. And I'm going to sell these at my pop-up. And so the bottom is like a denim blue, and I left the middle, the actual color that it was. And then this is a teal. The teal is one of my favorite colors. And then I just did 2 bags and I did the reverse. And what I do is I try to dye a lot of things at one time as to not to waste the dye. So I just did the reverse at the same time. I dunked these in, and then I also did this. So it's literally the same bag, but the reverse. So as you can see, the teal is at the top and the denim blue is at the top of this one. So these are from last week. And before I go, does anyone want to come up? You have any questions or anything? And so the last thing I want to talk about, while anybody raises their hand and want to come up, starting on Friday, I haven't advertised it yet because I haven't worked on my art. I am adding another show. I talked to the creators of Fireside, and I wanted to do a little bit more. As you can see, I'm sitting down. I'm very comfortable. I really like this. So my next show is going to be similar to this, more podcast style. I might have on my headphones, mic. I do all that stuff because I do have my YouTube and my podcast that I run. And so I wanted to do something different. I wanted to not just leave it here. Like when I make the earrings, I wanted to show you what's the next step. So on Friday at 7 p.m., I'm going to advertise it probably tomorrow. At 7 p.m., I'm adding another show, another element. And on that show, what I'm going to show you is how and I can only come from my perspective, how I have successfully grown my business on social media, and how I market my items and how I sell them. Multiple ways that I sell them. I sell straight just from Instagram, right? I'm talking about participating in a pop-up. So that is what I want to do. So I've showed you these Betty and Veronica earrings. So now on Friday, if you join me or if you watch the playback, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I already have videos. So I have reels. I have from the beginning to the end, DIY tutorials on how I made these on Reels, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest. So that's my social media exposure. So I wanted to go a little bit further so that if you're starting, and it doesn't have to be a handmade business, it could be any type of business, just to give you an idea of how I'm marketing my projects. So I haven't really figured out my name. I know it's going to be reworking this, but I think I'm going to be reworking this, making, marketing, and selling. And so that's what I'm going to show you. So Chris, you have anything? Thanks, Jen. You have anything else you want to add? I'm looking forward
Well,
to having you on.
yes, I'm looking forward to coming on and sharing, the bracelets, and also I'm looking forward to hearing these new things that you're going to be doing. But I like, seriously, those earrings are the bomb. I really like those, and I guess it's because the comics really.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've been in this whole space of like comics. Just people making different, stuff with all like the pow, boom,
yeah,
stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's really really cool, and I think I'm just really digging the whole handmade. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it's just
yeah.
So no, I'm looking forward to it. This is fun. Like this is really fun. So I'm super excited, and I'm very happy for you.
I'm glad you came up. I'm glad you came up. So I want to say for anyone, like if you have a concept, something in your mind that you've been thinking about doing, write down a plan and then implement the plan. Chris has been hanging with me for a while, and our other bestie, Michelle, is down there. And we talk about this all the time. Like if you have a desire, a dream, or a goal, don't just keep talking about it. Right? Put a plan in action and try it. If you fail, there's nothing wrong with that. At least you tried. And so then later come up with another plan. That failure should push you, it should excel you to do something different. So I would suggest for anyone, if you have something, 2 years ago I wasn't doing this. I'm a crochet designer. I did that. I resell. I have my YouTube and all those other things. And if you push that blue link in my bio, it'll take you and you'll see my hundreds. That's an exaggeration, but you'll see everything that I'm doing. And this is just a process. I'll be 53 next month, and I am enjoying everything that I'm laying my hands on. I'm trying it, and if it doesn't work, push that aside and work on something else. Okay. So definitely watch the playback and look for Friday. If you haven't, followed me, follow me, and then RSVP once I add that new show. I'm just going to be working on my art and then changing my photo and doing something different. But I want to thank you for coming today. I'm going to show you, for the people who just joined, the final project of these Betty and Veronica comic book earrings. So thank everyone for coming. Thank you, Chris, for coming up on